Hello everyone. We are here, Jalen and I. My name is Dr. Spears. We're at Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee. And what we're doing is we're filming our first session, our first episode of the Dr. Spears and Jalen show. It's gonna be a huge success.
That's right.
I tell you, the sky's the limit. We're putting God right in the center of it. So whatever we do for him is going to prosper. It's going to be great. It's going to be excellent. So a little bit about myself before I pass it to Jalen is my name is Dr. Spears. I have a few home care agencies, one in Tennessee, one in Texas, one in Georgia. I also wrote a book, which we'll talk more about in other episodes, and a radio show host, part of the Chamber of Commerce, this, that, and the other. I love business. I love entrepreneurship. So many things I love to do. I like to inspire, help, motivate. Motivational speaking is my thing. I love it. So that's a little intro about me. And I want to pass it to my brother, Jalen. He's going to tell you a little bit about himself. All right, here you go.
Hey, thank you. My name is Jalen Wall, and I am also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I'm a web developer. I travel a lot. I'm in the process of starting a couple new businesses. So one is a nonprofit, the first huge e-church. And then I'm moving to New Mexico tonight, actually. So we're in Belmont, in my current city of Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
And we're talking about hustling.
Yeah.
Our first video, Hustle and Flow. So we're very excited to do that. And we're gonna walk around Belmont and show you some places, and then just talk. So enjoy. All right, shall we walk?
Yeah, let's walk. Let's walk. Okay. So we're walking through Belmont University, and this is, spontaneous. We prepared for this, but somewhat we wanted to keep it loose to where we can just improvise and share what's on our heart to you guys. And like I said, this is where we're starting, but it's gonna grow so much more. We're excited about it. We're gonna purchase our equipment and do things to make it more high quality and all this good stuff, but we have to be faithful over the small things, and we know that God will make us ruler and happy over the great things. So we're just taking our time, doing this the right way. We're coming to you genuinely from our hearts.
Love it.
And just to help motivate and inspire you guys about God. We're talking about success, leadership. We're talking about real life issues, just you name it. The stuff that a lot of people don't want to talk about, we're going to actually talk about.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to be so inspiring to young, middle, old, and in between. It's just for everyone, and we're going to talk and take a good leap of faith and help as many people can. This will go viral. We will reach the masses. I already feel it. I already see it in my mind's eye. That's my affirmation, that we are motivating, touching, and inspiring people all over the world. So are you guys excited with us? I'm gonna pass it to Jalen now, but be excited for us, because look out world, here we come.
Love it. Yeah, I am very excited as well. And like what Dr. Spears said, this was spontaneous. We didn't really plan on shooting today, but since we're both together, it just kind of happened. So with hustling, you have to love the process.
That's right.
We're shooting on an iPhone 6.
Yeah.
We don't have the high quality production equipment yet.
Yes.
But we're using what we have in the right now. So whatever you're doing, or with whatever you're starting, don't wait until everything falls into place, until you have this and you have that. Just go ahead and start. Yeah. And I believe God honors that as well. So we might be shooting on an iPhone 6 right now, but who knows? Episode 10, we may have 4K cameras.
That's right.
But the goal is to go ahead. Yeah, we will. The goal is to go ahead and start. And you gotta love the process. And you gotta be able to hustle with whatever you're doing.
That's right.
Waking up and not putting things off until the next day, but going ahead and diving into whatever you need to do. And hey, what's up? and getting it done. And so the process right now is using what we have. We're together for a very short time, a spontaneous time. So we're gonna utilize that to reach a goal. And once we reach that goal, we'll reach the next goal. And so Dr. Spears will kind of kick us off with talking about this hustle.
Okay, here I am again. And see, I figured it out now. So as I walk, I'll have him kind of right here where he's kind of in it too. But yeah, so one thing I want to say is you have to, like Jalen was saying, we got to respect the process. And the Bible even said, despise not your small beginnings, you know? So we're going to be faithful over this. We won't be ashamed. We're actually men of faith, you know? We're men of faith. So we understand the principle of giving it all you have. And so when you give it all you have to God, he takes your natural and he puts his supernatural on top of yours. And I tell you, the sky is the limit. It said without faith, it's impossible to please God. So you have to have faith in order to please God. And he sees that we're stepping out on faith, doing something different, but it's in honor of him to help people and inspire people and motivate people. Now, hustle and flow. I love the topic
H&F.
because H&F, it's unique, it's different, and it can really encompass a lot of different subjects, you know. But we want to talk about hustling and flowing for things that are inspirational, things that are motivating, things that are enhance our life, things that will help enhance other people's life. So I don't believe God is blessing me for it to only be for myself. He's blessing me to be a blessing to others. So we want to just talk about how we can hustle, how faith without works is dead.
Right.
So we have to work, we have to hustle, we have to have ambition, we have to be diligent, we have to show stickability when things get tough, or when you start out in a place that's not as great as you know you want it to be. You know, we have to remember the saying that our latter shall be greater than our former. So no matter where you're starting in life, whether it's business-wise, whether it's ministry-wise, whether it's in a relationship, it could start out a little shaky or a little small, or seem like it's nothing to really brag or talk about or boast about. But if you stay faithful, and if you work your faith, if you work diligently, and if you commit your works to God, he will establish every thought, every plan, your wildest dreams, what you can even contemplate, he'll bring it to fruition and bring it to pass. So hustle and flowing for God. When you put God first, the sky is the limit. Why? Because what's impossible with me, or what's impossible with man, is possible with God. If you keep that mentality, anything is possible with God. You will never lose. You will always win in the end. So may lose a little battles, but the war, you know you're going to win. Give it back to my brother now, Jalen.
Heck yeah, that was good. Yeah, Belmont is it's a beautiful campus in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, what, 20 degrees outside right now, 30 degrees?
And my bald head is not happy.
And so, yeah, there's no leaves or flowers out right now, but typically Belmont is lit with colors and pavilions and like this lion and everything like that. Yeah. This is the Belmont Mansion behind us.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so to kind of to piggyback off that, there is so many different, I would say, people, celebrities, icons that we kind of look to for the idea of success and hustle. What it looks like kind of depends on who you're looking to. Kim Kardashian might say this are the 5 ways to succeed, or you know, Justin Bieber might say these 7 steps will get you whatever you want. But really finding the biblical approach and how kind of Jesus wants us to go about our lives is the ultimate goal. And so the formula I found out was passion. You need to double down on the things that you are wired to do, how you're wired. Double down on that. And don't really care about the things that God didn't gift you with. So passion will not get you anywhere unless you are consistent with that. So passion mixed with consistency will get you whatever you want. You have to be tenacious with your dream.
That's true.
Right? So once you are passionate about something and consistent about that passion, that's when the hustle comes in. And waking up and working towards that goal every single day. Don't tell me you have a goal to be a millionaire by 30 and you don't work on weekends. Right? You actually have to wake up and go after this thing. God gave us the tree, so it's our job to make the chair, right? So we're gonna keep walking around and keep hanging out.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. I'm gonna pass it back over.
Right. Wow. Okay, I see how this show is gonna go now. He's gonna inspire me as I inspire him, and it's gonna give us some awesome things to share with you guys. Yeah, we want to inspire you. This is the point of it. Motivate you, inspire you, encourage you. That's our mission. Where much is given, much is required. So it'd be so sad if we're walking in all this happiness, this success, and this inspiration and motivation, and we don't share it with the world. So again, I like to piggyback off what Jalen said, okay? Now, the Bible, I know a lot of people are scared of it, but you got to read your Bible sometimes, you know. But because there are great examples and illustrations in the Bible that helps you with modern day situation, such as leadership, okay? Hustle and flowing in leadership. Hello. Jesus was the greatest example of a servant leader and a mentoring leader, okay? His hustle and flow was so strong to the point where he took 12 disciples and mentored them for only 3 years. And he made those guys so great to we're still talking about them today. Thousands of years later, 2,000 plus years later, we're still talking about individuals that he took time to mentor, inspire, help, and so on and so forth. So what we're doing is, now that we know that, we want to share that with you guys to motivate you, inspire you, to get you encouraged in your walk, encouraged in your confidence about yourself and your abilities. You have something within you that can cause you to succeed at anything you put your mind and your hands to. Like he said, being tenacious and the tenacity and having the stickability, I call it. That may not even be a word, but stickability is the ability to stick with something that seems unstickable, that seems hard to stick to, seems like it doesn't have the consistency or the texture you need to stick to it. But if you have God, just stick to it. Long suffering. I know that sounds bad, but that's the way you win. That's the way you come out victorious. That's the way you come out with so many things that you would not have received if you gave up too soon. So got to talk about that. Hustle and flow, so strong, so important, but Jesus, the great example of leadership. So if you're trying to be a leader today, why not follow that example? I don't think I found anyone that has a greater testimony than that, you know? So go through the Bible, you'll find situations, you'll find situations and circumstances and scenarios, rather, that will help motivate you in today's time to be a greater leader, to be successful, to hustle and flow and achieve wealth and success. And I want to give it to Jalen now, but when I come back, I want to talk a little bit about Solomon, because he was the wealthiest, he was the wisest man on earth. So wouldn't you want to discover what his strategies were, what his techniques were, what did he implement and do to become the most wealthiest, and excuse the order, I should say the most wisest and the most wealthiest man on earth. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
I love it. Yeah, I can't wait for that. I want to talk a little bit about really step one. Into being successful and hustling and reaching those goals. And I think it all falls down to your identity.
Yeah.
So I really want to touch on 2 points.
Yeah.
So who you are kind of will wrap up everything as far as your hustle, your success, what you do, what you're passionate about, what you're consistently passionate about. And I guess the two things are who you are depends on, wow, I almost forgot.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. It's the process. It's the process. So one,
you know who you are. Are you gonna go God route?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna edit. I'm probably gonna edit this part out.
That's okay.
I might leave it in just.
But
for,
you know what? The more you get to know God, the more you get to know yourself. So that's powerful within itself. The more you discover Him, the more you discover His Word. The more you know Him, the more you should be able to see yourself, to see the God in you, that should inspire you to say, "I can do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthens me," because I know who He is. I know who He is in me, and greater is He in me than heat is in the world.
Love it, love it,
Wow.
love it. So yeah, that's the process. I messed up. I forgot.
That's all right.
But I just
That's all right.
remembered. So
Good. Good.
who you are depends on whose you are.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? That's the first one, right? If Jesus has you, if Jesus is defining you, then like that kind of determines your identity. If
Yes.
Kim Kardashian, like rap music or laziness is defining you, that kind of determines your identity. Another thing that Pastor Carl Lentz said, he said, who you are does not depend on the things that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Who you are depends on who Jesus is
Yes.
to you.
That's
And
right.
so establishing your identity as soon as possible is key.
Right.
I was talking to my little brother because my little brother is 14.
Oh, yeah.
He knows Jesus. He's reading the book of Luke right now, and he's
good.
already he's in 8th grade. He's already establishing his identity at that young age, which is so important. He might not know what he wants to do long term or what he's passionate about, but the goal is that, or the thing is, he is trying.
Yes.
He is learning what he wants to do.
Yes.
See, I didn't find God till I was a sophomore in college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was in ROTC doing military stuff.
Yeah.
Thought I would do like, just do little computer stuff, do like random stuff until I really I found God and started to establish my identity.
That's good.
When I discovered my calling.
That's good.
And you can't know your true calling if you don't know who you are.
That's
and so
right.
once you have these things settled, if you're still finding it, that's okay. My little brother, he's still finding out who he is and what he wants to do, but he's trying. So once you find out what you want to do, what you're passionate about, what you're gifted in, then you can start utilizing those gifts to reach that goal.
Yeah.
And
right.
so for me, when I joined college, I originally studied computer science, which I finished out with as well, but I was going to be a military officer, right?
Yeah.
Did not know God, but my goal was to be a military officer. And I was kind of passionate about it, but once I found God, he kind of rerouted my plans.
That's right.
And I kind of put off the whole ROTC military officer thing for my calling. And so I went from that to being in like the IT world and eventually being a pastor, but that's something that I'm passionate about. I believe I'm gifted with communication.
Good.
I'm gifted with programming. But God has gifted me with those things. What I can't do is be a doctor, right?
Oh,
I can't stand school. It comes naturally to me, but I just can't stand being in a classroom, and I can't stand doing that for however many years for med school. And so I'm not wired to do that, right? If I tried to do that, I just wouldn't be passionate about it. I would put in like 50% effort, because in the end, I just don't really care,
Yeah.
right? So I'm passionate about people.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about
That's good.
computers, right? I'm gifted in those areas.
Right.
So I get to wake up and know what my calling is, and double down on that, double down on the things that I know that I'm gifted at, and push forward, because there's so many things about myself and every one of you watching that we're just not gifted at. And so don't worry about that. Don't try to be a jack of all trades. Double down on what you're good at. Be the best version of you possible. And once you start doing that, you'll start seeing the fruition of your effort.
Yeah.
And so it may take years. It may take less than that or more than that. But
That's right.
the goal is to just start. Really,
That's true.
the hardest part is the beginning. Being persistent and consistent in the beginning with what you're passionate about. Right. So wake up at 4, 5, 6 a.m. and then start hammering it out.
Yeah.
And you'll never see it come to pass if you don't put in the work.
That's
so
right.
I'm gonna pass it back over.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still probably gonna edit that last piece out.
That's all right.
Here you go.
Hey, okay, I'm back. Man, I got to show you guys this view. Okay, this is Belmont University. I don't know where we are, but here we go. I'm just doing a little spin. Let's see if I can get it. There's Jalen in the background. And then I don't know what tower this is back here, but it's very nice. It has to be a bell, some type of bell. Oh, that's is it? The Tower of Babel. I hope not. Watch out, Belmont University, if it is. But I want to, oh man, he gave me so much to talk about when I was listening to him. So as he listened to me, as I listen to him, we get inspired. what nobody but God will bring us together to do something so great. And what's to come is going to be magnificent. You will see us all over the world. I guarantee you. I feel it. I already see it in my mind's eye. I speak it. I confirm it. I confess it.
Japan, you're next.
And I believe it. Yep, Japan, here we come. But like you were saying, Jalen was saying, discovering your identity. Okay, I was at a church service and there was a gentleman. He looked kind of like he had the hat on and sagging pants, this, that, and the other, da-da-da. I'm not judging him by no means. But one of the ushers went up to him. She was very rude. She said, "You need to take your hat off, da-da-da." And the guy, he got offended, Maybe he didn't know church etiquette, whatever. Some churches allow you to wear caps. I go to some churches that it's okay. They don't see anything wrong with it, So younger churches, But he left. And in my mind, I said, wow, there could have been a better way to address that or to speak to him. Maybe use and exercise a little bit more wisdom on how to address him in that situation because, okay, yes, he's in church. And this is part of hustling and flowing and discovering your identity. Okay, maybe he didn't know his identity in Christ, So he came to church the best way he knew how. He came, as the Bible told us to, come as you are. So what if he would have left and robbed somebody? Wouldn't you much rather him be in church, trying to hear about God, trying to hear the word with his cap on, than out in the streets, trying to find someone to make some money and rob or burglarize, this, that, and the other? So, yeah. So we have to really just take time to think about things like that. Yeah, they may not look and walk and talk the way we want. They may be discovering themselves, but the same way we had to discover ourselves, and life and God afforded us the opportunity to find ourselves and our purpose and to walk right and talk right. We have to afford that same opportunity to others, So be patient. And God forgives us so that we can forgive others. God is merciful to us so that we can show mercy on others, right? So we can't be representing Christ in such a mean and hateful fashion, and you're not perfect, and you don't look like me, so you don't fit in, or I have to correct you and have to get you to look like me, talk like me, walk like me. No, we are all God's children. And no matter how we look, how we walk, how we talk, we don't know what God is doing or how he's working on individuals, even though we may see them a certain way. Our thoughts are not his thought, our ways are not his ways. So that young man, that guy could be right where God wanted him to be. But until we come along and mess it up. So be merciful, be understanding, be patient with people the same way life and God is patient with us, right? Okay, now real quick, the military. I was in the military. It was a great start, but again, it's something I didn't feel like it was my call, and I didn't feel like it was where God wanted me to ultimately be. In another word, I don't feel like it was my divine destiny, But I took it in stride. I thank God for my humble and small beginnings because it was a great stepping stone to where God called me and wanted me to be, which is what I'm walking in now. I love, like Jalen was saying, waking up each morning, working, inspiring, motivating others through ministry and marketplace. He blessed me to minister, but he also blessed me to minister in a corporate setting as well. So I pray with people on the phone as we make business deals. They said, I never had a CEO pray for you. But, well, guess what? Look out, world. CEOs are saved as well. We put God first as well, and we move according to how God is leading us. So, again, starting out, it was rough. It was a task. But the more I began to inquire and read about God and want to know, having a hunger and thirst for God, I actually began to get filled by God. And he filled me with his presence, with his knowledge, with his wisdom. So the more I discovered him, the more I discovered myself. And I'm so grateful that there were individuals that were patient with me, that took time to allow me to grow in things that I needed to grow in. And now life is worth living because of the one that I worship, who I know and who I love, that loved me more than I could ever love myself. So that's what I wanted to share with everybody. Keep on. Okay, God is love. You gotta love. God is merciful, you got to be merciful. God is understanding, you got to be understanding to others. You got to show that type of thing, because he's watching us to see if we're going to come into our place and forget and be insensitive and be, well, they have to graduate to where no. Jesus can come down to help us, so we should be able to come down and help others, you know? And we're not better than anybody, but it's something better in us that we want to get to them so that they can find out their own truth and walk in their calling in life and be all that God would call them to be. So that's what we want to share. That's what we want to know. I want to pass it back to my brother now. We got a little bit more time, maybe 5 minutes, so we'll share more.
Yeah, heck yeah. Love it, love it, love it. I'll share something really quickly and pass it back over to Dr. Spears so he can wrap us up. So, of course, we have to talk about the naysayers.
Oh yeah.
The haters.
The haters.
Really, the only thing you need to know is to just ignore them. Just ignore them. Because let me tell you, a person's word can be a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Or it could be something that heals you.
Yeah.
Something that motivates you, something that encourages you. So be careful with your words, and be careful what you let penetrate your heart.
That's true.
But the haters will be there. The more successful you become, the more haters you will get.
Yeah.
So you need to learn from the start to shut that out.
Yes.
You know, when I first got saved, a little story for you. I honestly didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. And I spent a great deal of time searching for that outside of asking Jesus. And so I ran down a few different paths that kind of led to nowhere. Changed universities several times, dropping out of universities several times and enrolling back, traveling to random places, starting businesses and failing, right?
Yeah.
But what you have to do is you have to fail quick, you have to fail often.
Yeah.
But if you want the authority of knowing who you are, you have to know the author. You have to read the Bible and you have to ask Jesus what you want to do. And I didn't know who I was, and I didn't know what I wanted to do until I did very that. I started reading the Bible. I started asking Jesus what my calling was and for him to help me with it. And once I started to do that, man, I saw the plans that he had for me just unfold.
Yeah.
And now I'm walking it in that. And really the beginning, it's all about, you know, you're now a baby, right? You have to learn to crawl. Even if it's with your business, you have to learn to crawl. Yeah. Then you have to learn to walk.
That's
you need,
right.
you know, don't have to eat baby food anymore. You need,
That's right.
some vegetables, some soft food. Then you have to learn to jog, then run, and eat that steak dinner. And then now what we plan to do is fly and soar.
That's right.
With God, with what God has given us.
Yes.
And so you got to shut the haters out, and you got to keep hustling, because they will try to put you down. And I'm guilty to the fact that, you know, sometimes I let them hurt me to a point where I don't want to wake up and do anything anymore.
That's right.
I don't want to wake up and be passionate about this vision God has given me if everybody says that it's not worth it. You know, what makes sense to the world, or I should say what makes sense to God might not make sense to the world.
That's right.
So with whatever God has given you, shut the naysayers down and keep hustling in that. Yeah. And then once you keep doing that, you'll start to see things unfold to you. And
that's right.
There's no better word to just say.
Yeah.
You know, the plans that God has for your life are immaculate. They're wonderful, exceptional.
Yeah.
And you'll never know what area you need to hustle in. You know, what calling you need to hustle in, unless you do those two things of read the living word and ask the living God. So I'll pass it back to Dr. Spears. I'm looking forward to episode 2.
Yes.
Whatever that may be.
I'm ready.
Here he is. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow, isn't Jalen awesome? Well, man, okay, we're wrapping up things, but I love piggybacking off him because what he says is just so inspirational, it's so motivational, and I love it inspires words and thoughts within me. So the haters, I got to come on that. Haters, as I was getting dressed today, coming to Nashville, Tennessee from Atlanta, Georgia, just as sure, and this is going to help somebody, okay? Now, a lot of people want to be rich, right? But as sure as I was getting dressed today, what came to my head is will never, or you'll, or whoever will never be rich as long as you downgrade, criticize, talk negatively about, or hate on individuals that are rich. What do you mean by that? Okay, now when you say, oh, look at that rich person, they don't have anything to worry about, they got it all. Well, Robin Williams was rich too, and you would think he was just the happiest man in the world, but he committed suicide, So money doesn't make your life perfect. There's the bell. It's over there somewhere. Babel bell. Well, okay, I'm trying to get it. Oh, there it is. There's the bell. But, okay, I know you still can hear me, but we can't do that. Especially rich individuals that are living justly. They are living good lives. They are doing what they're supposed to do. They're motivating and inspiring others, such as people like Joel Osteen and T.D. Jakes. And we'll say, oh, they don't know my struggle, rich this, rich that, and oh, I don't want to hear you complain, your life is too good. No, we got to stop hating on that aspect, because it's really a test. God is watching us to the point where if we talk that way about rich people, it's like we're just wiping out our opportunity. Yeah, for God to say, here, I want to give you that. But if you appreciate it and admire it and find the good things and positive things about being rich and rich people, whatever, God can say, okay, you passed that test, because you could have been cynical, you could have been critical, but you're finding the good in every situation. So the Holy Spirit, I promise you, he said, okay, stop hating and God will start elevating. Yes. So stop hating, God will start elevating. So hey, that's the key. Some people, why can't I get to the next level? Why can't I reach that rich and wealthy place? Watch how you view rich people. When you view them in a positive light, God will see that and he will shine that same light on you, making it a reality for you. So just want to share that little piece. Again, I'm a man of faith. Jalen is a man of faith. This show, the Dr. Spears and Jalen show, will be a huge success. I'm speaking it now. I'm confessing it now. I'm doing affirmations on it now. I'm writing the vision. I'm making it plain, and I'm combining it with faith. And he's combining it with faith. And where 2 or 3 touch and agree, he's in the midst, and he will establish and give you everything that your heart desires and what you ask for. So thank you for being a part of this. I don't know what platform this is going to go on, but like, share it, comment, tell somebody to subscribe, all that stuff, because you're going to be a part of greatness. This is the first show at Belmont University, and you will have the opportunity to be a part of greatness, a part of something big. Just like Facebook start, Twitter start, Instagram start, this is the start of something great. So be happy that you're a part of it, because we're happy that you're a part of it. Yeah. We're happy that we can come and motivate you today, encourage you today, inspire you today. Be blessed. 2018 is going to be the best year of your life. I guarantee you, as long as you walk in faith, walk positively, speak positively, get rid of negative people. Do it now. Yeah. Get rid of negative people. Surround yourself with positive people, and God will elevate you to the highest level you could ever imagine. Anything else, Jalen?
Love that. Just real quick, 2 things. What do you think the hashtag for this should be? I know episode 1, Hustle and Flow, maybe hashtag hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah. Hate us because they ain't us. And don't hate, God elevate.
Right. And just remember, comparison, if you keep comparing yourself to people, it's going to steal your joy.
Yeah.
Right? Don't compare yourself to people.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. That's about it.
Yeah.
Right? You want to piggyback on
Be yourself, because if you don't be your true and authentic self, it's the equivalent to suicide.
Okay, last thing, promise. So you have to surround yourself with people like-minded.
Yeah.
Of course, you disciple everybody. Disciple, your group of people, hang out with sinners and spread the gospel. But if you want to be successful, your inner circle, you need to surround yourself with people who want to be successful too, who want to hustle, who will keep you encouraged and motivated. Right? Show me your 5 closest friends, and I'll show you where you're going to be at in 5 years. So
exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too. Show me your 5. I love it. Show me your. What is it? Show me your 5 best friends,
I'll show you,
and I'll show you And then I'll say, from a financial standpoint, show me your online banking statement, and I'll show you where your heart is.
Starbucks and Uber.
Yeah,
I like
and
that.
fast food.
I
On
like
it. But be blessed. We'll see you the next time. Hey, look out, world, because here we come.
Peace.
Peace.
All right, let's see if it's saved.